Welcome to the show. Those who have been following know that the BTM Club in Conversation series with legends is about the great people doing amazing things in our community. And today we raise the bar even higher. Yet again, we have the wonderful, extremely talented, versatile, that's an introduction, isn't it? Lorna Gale, also known as Sutara Ma. So I never know which to call you. Welcome to the show, darling.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sutara is good. I like that.
Okay. So tell me, what's the origin of the Sutara? Where did it come from?
Sutara is when I went to India in 2011, and I went with my brother Muji. He's like a spiritual teacher out there. And we went on I would call it like a pilgrimage to the Arunachala mountain, and we did some meditations and stuff like that. And whilst I was there for 3 months. And whilst I was there, I got a name. I got given this name, Sutara, and Sutara means divine star. So I was like,
how fitting, how
darling,
fitting.
Absolutely fitting. I was like, yeah, I had a ceremony and everything around the name,
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I was like, wow, yeah. And actually, it's only like the last few years that I started to just really embrace the name and really walk in it. You know what I mean? And
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So is he your blood brother or spiritual brother?
He's my blood brother and my spiritual brother. That's my mother's first child. That's my
that's
my mother's first son. Cherry is my mother's first child. But yeah, that's my mother's first son. So yeah, and he was always, he's
very
one
spiritual.
of the ones that came over from Jamaica when he was 15 or 16 years old, and and I met this handsome, beautiful guy. I'm like, that's my brother. Oh my gosh! And I fell in love with him the very first time I saw him, and it's been like that ever since. He has been my absolute guide.
So he's your big brother.
It's my big brother.
Because you can see the relationship in the few pictures that I've seen. You every picture you're looking at him like that. I love you.
I do. I know. I'm such a sucker. I mean, and everybody that goes around him are the same. There are people around him that literally like, oh my God, we love you, love you. And I feel exactly the same. I understand what they mean because he has a thing that he gives off this energy.
The aura.
Yeah. I remember many years ago, back in the days, my mum, when he was living at home, and he would literally any random people off the street, he would just bring into the house. And my mum used to say, one of these days, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you.
They'll kill all of us, not just you. They'll kill all of us.
Because he just had this whole compassion for everybody,
humanity.
And if he saw somebody that just looked, that he would just take them in, and then they'd have meditation, and so what he's doing now is just an extension of what he's always done.
Right.
Muji.
I can see that, even talking about him, you're still like starry-eyed.
I love him so much because, Barry, he saved my life, He saved my life. And when I feel so emotional talking about this, but when I say that, I don't mean it lightly. And I think, and he saved my life several times because he's the brother that used to save me from beating. And if he was home and my mum was going to beat me, I was going to get beaten. He would just directly not allow.
Oh, I hope you all are listening to this because she was troubled from day one. You can tell. You can tell. Okay.
Trust me, I was a little whippersnapper, mate. I don't know where it come from, but I just had all this energy, all of this mad energy, crazy energy, which I'm now utilizing. Might I?
Absolutely. Now, I've spoken to this wonderful lady before, and I have to say I was very late. I'm ashamed to admit I was very late to the Lorna Gale Sutara party, but now I'm here. I'm not leaving. Okay, now I'm not leaving. But your story, you were so generous. Well, okay, let's go back to Legends of Them. Okay, now I have to say, you were so open and honest, candid, but above all, generous. Because to share those things about oneself when they're at their most vulnerable, you got to be really generous to let people know that, there were at points I was on my knees, or at points that I was confused about whatever in my life. And you openly shared it, and it was a one-woman show. So, you had the power to command that stage with everything that was going on with the props, etc. But it was all about you one telling the story. It wasn't about anyone else playing the part and other people involved. It was you one just doing the whole thing. So I have to thank you for being so generous to share all those things, because it's things like that that give other people the inspiration and courage to do the same.
Thank you.
I have to thank you for that. And it was very moving, emotional at times. And of course, she was doing her stupidness and her naughtiness as well, because that's her. But, very emotional, very, very emotional indeed.
Yeah, it was very emotional. It was a very emotional process, even writing it, rehearsing it, workshopping it, developing it. It was, because you have to go back there. You have to go to places that you thought was long forgotten.
Yeah.
Do you know? And in order to really play the truth of it, you really have to go there, man, and you have to feel what those feelings.
I was going to say, it evokes those feelings again.
Yeah,
in order for you to write about it honestly,
you
have to feel that again, how you felt at the time.
And this is why I thank God for the arts, because actually, even doing it was still healing. It was still healing for me. To actually go back there and to actually feel certain feelings, because that's how we heal. We have to
face it
and face whatever demons it is, face whatever has troubled us in the past. We have to face it first, and then you can get through it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if we don't face it, it's just going to be there, just eating us inside. And I think that's why I'm able to tell the story, because it doesn't feel like it's it's my story, but also it doesn't feel like it's my personal story anymore. It doesn't feel like it's me. It's my trajectory. But I've done a lot of work.
Well, I mean, it is your personal story. The thing is, it's relatable to other people, because you realize a lot of other people were or are still going through many of the same things, but haven't done what you've done, faced it, and probably haven't even really had the opportunity to do it.
That's what it is. It's the opposite. Sometimes people just need the permission. And I think that's why this is another reason why this was so important for me to do, because I know what it's like to, have a story, have guilt and shame around that stories. Do you know what I mean? We grew up in an era where, our parents held on to so much. There's so much secret, so much stuff. Like, we used to compare it to, like, them used to put the things in the top of the wardrobe, put them in the top of the wardrobe, everything put in the top of the wardrobe, and shut it away and don't deal with it. And then one day you're gonna open that wardrobe and everything
probably,
do you understand? And that's the kind of, we grew up like that. So
it's so funny you say that, because that is a lot of the part of our culture's trauma and holding on to it, because you're made to feel ashamed about everything. Everything is a secret, and you actually realize I'm not the only one. And if we were only to talk about it with her over there or him over there, we'd actually have a support network to help each other through it.
Exactly. That's the key word, a support network, and knowing that you're not alone. You're just not alone. You think no matter what you've gone through, there's somebody that's gone through worse than you, and they've gotten through it. No matter what you think it is, and it's not belittling what anybody's gone through, but there will be others that's gone through something much worse. And you know what I mean? If you really want to, and being on the spiritual path with my brother Muji has really helped me to just see, to do with the identity of who I am, the false sense of self, basically. Yeah. So when you're operating from the false sense of self, everything is, in front of you. It's all personified. It's like, oh, I've got to do this. I can't do this. But when you realize that that's not who you are, that's not who you are. That's the ego showing up. That's the ego mind, the monkey mind, if you like. When you really look inside yourself and know who you are and feel who you are and feel established in that seeing. Yeah, and know the real self. None of that stuff is real. None of that stuff can touch you. It cannot bother you. It cannot disturb you anymore. And it's a lot of practice. It takes a lot, meditation, whatever way, yoga, meditation, being silent, being quiet, just looking within, whatever you can do to help you to achieve that is the best thing in the whole wide world.
As you say, you open up and let it out. But the thing is, as you say, what holds a lot of people is this whole thing of trying to fit in, and shame and embarrassment and the judgment of others. And then when you grow up, you get to a certain point and say, I was worried about your judgment, but you're not even on my level. And that's what comes with, obviously, with maturity and age and experience. But, as they say, we're all being judged by people who aren't even close to having their own beep together, but we're worrying about it.
Can you imagine that? It's such a waste of energy. Can you imagine, just like worrying about what people's got to say about you? How tiring that is.
Exhausting.
People's projections and what they project on you. I mean, you're coming at this world alone, man, and you're going dead alone. You know what I mean? When you go down in that coffin, it's you one. So where all those people that were saying this and saying that, where are they going to be? How can that matter to your life while you're living right now? We have to just give every single.
But it takes time to get there,
and of course it does,
because of the cultural bars and barriers that we grew up with. You were made to feel, even by the people who should be supporting you, a way about stuff. They were helping to make you feel a way about stuff, embarrassed, ashamed. You don't talk that out in the road. You don't tell anybody that. And it's like, well.
Yeah, we're conditioned. We're all conditioned that way. That's, it's all a conditioning. But we can recondition our minds, and that's it. It's reprogramming and reconditioning our minds, and knowing that we are the consciousness. And as you say, it's not always easy, but that's why we do what we do. This is why we make this kind of work.
Yeah,
you make art like this through art and through spirituality and through whatever connections we can to bring us back home, to bring us back to who we are. This is why we do. Look what you do. You share. You're on a radio. You've got a medium here where you can share music and make people feel good. This is what we do. It's all. Everything helps. It's all an outlet. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, this is another lady, I have to say, that I find very inspirational. There are two people, in fact. Annie Domingo is one.
Wonderful. I love Annie.
Every time I see her, I just feel about this big. I should be doing more. I should be doing more.
She just does everything.
Everything. And she said something really wonderful. She said she got to the age of 50, I think it was, and she suddenly decided that every year she was going to learn a new skill. And I just think that's brilliant. You don't switch off, you keep learning. And you are the other one, because you said that you didn't get into your acting career until you were in your 40s. Is it late 30s, early 40s?
Late 30s, yeah. I went to drama school at 37 and graduated at 40.
Wow. And a lot of people would think, oh, I'm too old to do this now.
Nah. and I'd left school years and years and years before. I mean, any kind of establishment. At 35, that's when I decided to go back to college. I said, what am I doing? What am I doing here? My son's about to go to secondary school. He needs to see me really, you know what I mean? I was in the music business, and I was, traveling all the time, traveling, never really settled, and I was bringing him with me, and we're going all over the world. And I just thought, I just need to do something. I want to do something, and I want to get an agent. That was my motivation. I want to get an agent where they collect my fee and then they pay me. That's what I want to do. And that was my motivation for going back to college.
Right.
Going to college. And I went to Lewisham College for 2 years and done the BTEC there. And I had no idea, no inclination about drama school, or that I could go to drama school at my age. I didn't know that world at all. And it was my teachers at Lewisham College, one in particular, Mark Sell, he was an amazing teacher, saw this gift in me for acting and improvisation. And he's the one that encouraged me to go and audition for drama schools. And I was like, what, they take people my age? And yeah, so that's what happened. He worked with me on a Shakespeare. I did Titania. These are the forgeries of jealousy. And
well, yes, you are actually a chameleon.
Yeah.
Because every role you see you in, let me tell you, forget Madonna, this woman here is the queen of reinvention. Every time you see her, it's a different look. It's different hair. It's a different dressing style, you know, and that goes on to her on the screen because the roles that you play are so diverse.
It's so
from
diverse.
a maid to a teacher, to a community center leader, to, you know, you do it all. You don't play yourself, which is amazing.
It's fun. It's fun. I was saying to my friend today, we were just at a film screen, and I said to her, I love dressing up. I said, probably that's why I became an actor, because I love dressing up. And when I was a younger, I used to put on my brother's clothes, his shoes, you know, because there was 8 of us growing up, 4 boys and 4 girls. Right. And I wore everybody's clothes. And I used to take them and put on somebody's hat, put on my mum's hat, put on this one's gloves, put on this one's shirt, put on that. And I used to love it. I used to make stylo tape to tie belt round and walk street. I didn't care. Like, I wasn't into like, oh, they're looking like this.
You always had that creativity in you.
Yeah. I love it. I love dressing up. It's, you know, it's fun. It's fun.
And it's probably not learned. It's within your soul and your spirit. Yeah. It's not learned. Yeah,
absolutely within my soul. There's never a dull. I love my wardrobe, and I never know what I'm going to wear from day to day, but I love looking in the wardrobe and saying, oh, what can I put on today? Or what can I match up today? Because I like to mix and match. And that for me is fun.
Absolutely. So tell us about the early Lorna Gale, because you were Lorna Gale then in the days of Gotta Find a Way.
Lorna G.
Lorna G. So how all of that slipped past me. I see clips now and I think, I remember her, but...
I'll tell you why. Because you was a soul head. He was a soul head, bro. Because my brother, he was a soul head. My brother Mervyn, he was a soul head. Yeah, and if I was his sister, if I wasn't his sister, he wouldn't know nothing about me. Because they used to go, you know, there's a soul head and there's soul music.
I mean, I'll have to say I was always a crossover person. I was kind of a soul head, but I would come home from the soul clubs and put on my Crocs and silk suit and go to Shaka and Coxon and Saxon, because they're all South London sounds. We grew up with the Saxon boys, you know. They went to my primary school and, you know, so we were That's
how it all started for me on the sound systems. That's everything started on the sound systems for me, you know. And I feel that probably if I wasn't on the sound system, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, because that was just an outlet for me. It was a way of...
everything is a stepping stone to where you are, isn't it, in this moment? So everything goes and contributes to you being where you are in this moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was the sound that you started with?
I started with Smollax, Smollax sound system, you know what I mean, Brixton, because I was born and raised in Brixton, so Brixton's is a Brixton sound them, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Keaty Axe, he just passed away recently, but that's the first man that gave me a microphone, put a microphone in my hand. When the other guys then, when I'm going, give me peace, and they say, no man, you're not ready for this, man, man. I'm on business this, and a Keaty Axe said, give her the mic, man, because he heard me chat already. Give her the mic, and that was it. From the time they gave me the mic, that was it. I never put it down. You know, really? So Smollax, Coxon. I chat in Saxon too. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but even when we was in America, they came over to America, and we was doing stuff over there. But my sound, my residential sound that I settled with was Nasty Rockers.
It would
Nasty
have to be, isn't it? It
Rockers.
would have to be.
With Ricky Rankin, Arsman, Johnny Dollar. Yeah, it was us. Yeah.
So how did the music career catapult for you? Because starting in the sound system with the mic in a blues, in a shoebie.
Right. I tell you, it was Sir Lloyd did a live album. I think he done about 2. Actually, he done it 1984, 40 years ago. He did.
I'm not old enough. I can't remember anything.
Darling, I was only like 5 years old. Okay, I was just too young to be out there. But because I used to go rave at Sir Lloyd all the time too, Sir Lloyd did this live album with all of the DJs, with all of the Saxon, Tipper Irie, Smiley Culture, Usher, Leslie Lyrics, all of it was on the album. Massive, and that was like, it was a live album, so there was like hundreds of people at Dick Shepherd Youth Centre, which was my old school.
Dick Shepherd, you went to Dick Shepherd? Wow.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, for a while. So we did that live album, and it was amazing. And then what happened was he got the album mixed by Mad Professor. Mad Professor mixed the album, and Mad Professor heard me and was like, "Who's this woman? Who's this girl?" Actually, and that's how I got to make my first record, 3 Week Gone, and me gyro not come, because actually the Professor Lloyd came over to me and he goes,
you just love this woman. She tells it like it is 3 weeks gone.
Lloyd come up to me. Lloyd come and said, "Professor, heard your voice, heard you DJing, and he wants you to make a record." And I was like, "No, record? No, I ain't got record." And I bucked up on it. Was in my play. I bucked up on Linton Kwesi Johnson I was coming back from the Dole office on Cold Harbour Lane, and I buck up on Linton Kwesi Johnson, and he was kind of like our community leader, and he was like, "Well, I hope you're behaving yourself, and I was like, "Yeah, well, you know what I mean? It's hard. I can't even get to break, man. It's like, I'm trying everything, I'm trying to find a job, can't find a job, and you know what I mean? I've been waiting 3 weeks for my gyro, man, and I'm flipping broke, and I just, and then he was saying, "So what about, because I know you was on the sound system doing music." And I said to him, I told him, "Mad Professor, this guy, Mad Professor, he wants me to make a record, but I haven't got, enough lyrics for a record." And then Linton Kwesi Johnson said to me, "You see what you just tell me about your gyro? Write about that. Because people want to hear about real things, reality." And that's how that record came about.
Brilliant.
That is no word of a lie. Linton Kwesi Johnson is the one responsible. You see how one thing happens and the next thing happens and the next thing happens, and that's how, and
that's how you have to go through life. And you say, well, you know what? If it is meant for you, some way or other, some avenue or other, it will find its way to you.
And you got to jump at the challenge. You got to jump at it, because if you don't jump at it, it's gonna miss you. You're gonna miss it.
Yeah. And as well, the thing is, what keeps people back is fear, is ego, in case I'm not good at it. Whereas, other people are like, to hell with it. I'll try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll just back to the drawing board with something else.
I'm not going to sit here and say I've never felt them feelings. I always felt those feelings. I felt, oh my God, I don't know what people's going to think about me. I'm going to think of, and this one might say that, and I'm not, because I wasn't never really a conformist. I wasn't really conformist, but I was still doing it. So you can still do it and still have the fear, but just face the fear in it and do it anyway. You understand?
Yeah, but I mean, that's what they say. Being brave isn't not being afraid. Being brave is being afraid, but still going ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's proved to be, I ended up making all my records in the 80s with Professor, and literally touring all around Europe because of that. And I got to find a way. That was with Professor. Stop Chat, Didn't I Tell You, Fantasy World, Brixton Rock, all those records I made with my Professor. And he's about to now put out the greatest hits of Lorna G, which is going to be released in the next few weeks.
And that is probably going to fly more now than it would have then, because of your other repertoire, the other things that you've attached to your repertoire. You're acting, you're all over the place, you know. So it'll probably go much further now than it would have.
Hopefully. I
Yeah.
hope so. I hope so. Let's
Well, you don't
see.
need to cross your fingers. You've got it down pat.
Mm.
So, you know. So that brings us to Sunday's show.
Oh my God. I'm so nervous. I am. Seriously, I'm a bit nervous. I'm like, this is the first time since 20 Buffum where I'm really actually doing like a live show, my own live show. These people contacted me from last year to do this, and I was like, yeah. And as it's getting closer and closer, it's closer. Oh my gosh, yeah. So excited.
Yeah, but you did Legends of Them, so
I know, right? But you know what? It's really funny. It's two different mediums. It does go hand in hand. But when you haven't done something for a while, because I started as a musician, didn't I?
Yeah,
and then the last 20 years I've been doing acting. So like going back, it's almost like going back to the music now. You know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. And also, I'm just going to enjoy myself. It's about, you know, and that's what takes the pressure off. Like, go and enjoy, go on stage and
just have fun with it. Yeah.
Have fun and have fun with the audience and let the audience have fun with you, and just
because I mean, Legends of Them had in obviously the acting, the monologues, a little bit of singing, you know, it had in a bit of everything. So this is just, tell us about Sunday's show then.
Sunday, I'm going to be playing at the Pizza Express Live in Holborn. I'm going to be playing with my
very famous music venue.
Yes, indeed. I was really honored to be contacted to us to do a show. It's called the Reggae Series, so it's up close and personal with Sutara Lorna G. And so yeah, I'm going to be doing some of my old material, my old catalogue, as well as some new songs and a couple of songs from my play, Legends of Them, and couple of musical songs from the musical theatre.
Ooh!
Yeah!
So how long is the show?
It's two 45-minute sets.
Okay.
So it's nice. And it's such a lovely, as you said, you've been down there, it's such a lovely, intimate, sit down by the table, sit down around, you know, the tables, lovely cabaret style. You know,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It reminds me of the old jazz club because I've been there to see a couple of shows myself. You know, in the days. So I'm really flattered and honored to be a part of this now, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. So Sunday the 5th of May, that's it, and the tickets are almost sold out.
Well, I wouldn't expect any less. I wouldn't expect any less. So that's why we're here to put the word out even more, to let you know that Miss Lorna G will be performing on Sunday at the Pizza Express Holborn with her own repertoire. Have you got any guests, or is it just you?
I do have some guests. I have Paulette Taja is going to be one of them. And I have a lovely girl called Shamaya who was with we played together in the Tina Turner musical, because you know I was in a Tina Turner musical for 15 months. This
is it. I mean, there's so much to this woman's repertoire. It is just ridiculous. Yeah. And I'll show you a bit of irony. You were the grandmother in the Tina Turner musical.
That's right.
The lady who is now playing the grandmother, another friend of mine, Irene Forrester, taken over from you, who also went to Lewisham College, where I went, where I met her.
Wow.
So there you go. There's a bit of serendipity. She also trained at Lewisham College.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I
think you guys were in the Tresillian building, weren't you? Or were you in...
Yeah, Tresillian. Yeah.
Tresillian building, right. Yeah. Downstairs. That's where they used to do the drama. I was in the Wickham building doing the academic stuff, the science, and you know. But
what year was that? Did you guys go? Do you remember?
You expect me to say that out on it? Wait. 19 saltfish. Just let me say that. No, it was 1981.
Oh wow! Woo!
1981.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about college at them times.
Yeah, I was doing the academic stuff in the Wickham building, the old brought down weird looking building. Sicilian was the arts and all that, and the building behind Breakspears was the engineering, yeah, which was the new. But yeah, there's the serendipity. She's now taken over, and she went to Lewisham College.
It's so funny, you know, because I went back to see the play, and when I left, and watching her, it was just such a joy watching her doing it and sitting from the audience and watching the show and seeing what everybody was seeing for all these, and it was just extraordinary. And then when we met, and it was like, oh my God, boom, boom, boom. And we knew so many people that each other you know, knew, and also when she's been, they've called me back several times when she's not been well, even especially through the COVID. They called me back. I was like, what? Yeah, come on. I knew I'm only going to go do it for a weekend or something, and I'm coming back home again.
But you've got those lyrics and you know the whole character etched in your head. You know, you probably don't even have to rehearse it anymore.
No. So it's you know, you just have to just, you know, just reconnect with it. Remember.
But you know, the thing is, she is also a very beautiful spirit, Irene.
Yes.
It's funny how they've chosen the character of the grandmother. Very humanitarian, gentle, spiritual. She's very much that, you know. All the qualities that you expect in a grandmother, basically.
And not just any grandmother. Tina's mother, Gigi, she was a highly spiritual being.
Yeah.
You know, she was. She saw things, and she's the one that gave Tina that
the oomph to go and do what she had to do. Because it's like, you know what? Your future is not here with me. As much as I love you, your future is not here. You can't fulfill your potential staying here. You gotta go. You gotta go. Get out. and you know. Yeah. But yeah. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, my dear.
Thank you so much, Barry, for having me, man. You're such a wonderful, wonderful spirit yourself, man. And you know, it's people like you that support us, because if we ain't got the support, we can't do what we do. Do you know what I mean? And you know, you wouldn't believe that, you know, it still makes us, well, I speak for myself, that it really touches my heart when, you know, people are really just encouraging and showing support, and it really does something. It really does something, because I don't take anything for granted, man. You know what I mean? Anything can just be taken from you like this in a second. In a second. So you cannot take anything for granted. So whilst I'm living and breathing, and you know, I feel good about life, and you know, I'm just being led. I just, you know, say, God, whatever you want me to do, just lead me. I'm just surrender. It's not me that does anything or make any decisions anymore. Just lead it to the more side. You know what I mean? And yeah, so
absolutely.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Well, you're absolutely welcome, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm
going to look for you, and I'm going to sing a song just for you, Barry.
You heard it. I've got witnesses, okay? I want my song. My song.
Yeah, to see everybody in May the 5th. I think they said there's about 15 more tickets left. So, you know, get on. It's selling really, really nicely. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased. So yeah, get on there, and hope to see you soon. You know, if you want to find out anything more, you can go on to sutara.org.uk.
I was going to say, let's have the website, etc., and your social handles, because it's better if you say it than I try to say it, because you know it in my heart. So let's have the website where we can get more information.
Website is Sutara, SUTARA.org.uk. So all information of all things that I'm doing is on there. And my Instagram is Sutara Gale, Gayle, and my Facebook is Sutara Ma, Sutara Ma.
And do you hear how the character changes even with the announcement? Okay, it goes from accent to articulation to brilliant. I love it. I love it. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, my love, and all the very best with the show.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, my darling. Love and kisses to you. Yeah.